Hello, everybody. I'm Karen Gibbs from Batiks, and today I want to talk about what if I mixed up the processes. Um, what if I change things around a little bit when we're doing batiks? So, when you create a normal, when you're talking about creating a normal batik or batik, okay, what you're doing is you're applying the color first, then you're applying the chop, right, or the chop that's dipped in the wax, and the wax holds that color, and then you bleach out the ground around the wax. So the only color that still remains is what's underneath the wax. And then you apply your background on it. Okay, so it's a layering. The background is actually the last thing that is applied in that kind of circumstance. What if you changed it around a little? What if you put the background down first and then maybe didn't use the wax? What if you said, okay, I want to just maybe with a hand on screen push wax through the screen and let it sit long enough to bleach out the background color a little bit and then see what happens. Doesn't that sound like a fun project or a nice play date? So you've been able to see some of this bleach out kind of thing that I've been playing with. Hi, Trisha. Hi, Leslie. Thanks for joining me today. You've seen some of that and just not recognized it, I think. So we made sure to post it earlier today so you have an idea of how I've used it. Okay, and so I'm just going to talk a little bit about each one now. In the Kilts and Quilts collection, Patience Griffin's collection, make sure you go visit her. She's got a new novel out, by the way. Check it out. This, her sheep right here. We wanted to get the sheep, right? Now, in a normal batik, you're dealing with two colors almost, right? You're dealing with a background and you're dealing with the motif. So, how do I get the black faced sheep that Patience wanted with only two colors? And the way I did it is I put my background up first and then I push the bleach through the shape of the sheep, and then we'd overprinted, overdyed with the black. Okay, so I was able to get those very distinctive sheep on there. So this, in this case, the background went down first, right? And then you can see it here. How did I do this one? Okay, the chop design came down first. All right, so the motif of the chop, where it looks like little stitching, went down first, and then the color of the background, and then I bleached it out where the sheep are, and then overprinted with the black. So there's quite a few processes in this one, right? But it's so adorable. Love it. We also did that with the plaid from Kilts and Quilts. Put down, hand painted the color first of, it looked like almost a stripe, and then did the plaid with the white, and then added more colors on there for the plaid. Now, what started my plaids, my foray into plaids and my excitement about plaids, is this collection here. It's in stores, all about plaid. And what these are the little bows, if you remember from a previous little episode of Facebook Live. But what I did is, like I said, I did the plaid in a hand on screen and pushed the bleach through. And this is after the hand painted stripe is done. You'll notice it doesn't go all the way to white, right? Okay, bleach doesn't necessarily bring in everything all the way to white. We apply it to our whites, right, when we're doing laundry, and we hope to God it brings it all the way to white. But if you got a major coffee stain on there, you may have a problem. Okay, so this one here didn't bring it all the way to white, right? So you have some of the background colors seeping through, and that's the nature of a batik. All right. In Vino, another reason, Christine and Cindy, thank you for joining me today. Vino collection. Another reason I would use or think to use the bleach in a different manner after I've applied the background is because, like in Vino, you can see here the wine labels, right? With wax, the wax pools when you apply it with the chop. it pools a little bit, so it would obliterate the lines and all of the text on there. But if I treat this like apply the background color and then apply the bleach through a very tiny hand cut screen, then I can get the labels and I can get the, all of the writing, the font, everything on here, and still achieve that look by applying the background first and then the bleach. So it's just knowing your layers of doing things, right? In the Barala collection, you can see here, got a whole bunch of things going on here in this collection. This one, first of all, this is a chop, right? This is a chop design. So it's the normal application of color, okay? Then in this collection, we've also got uh, 3 different chops, right? We've got the big floral here. We've got another chop here. We've got another chop here. And it's in a checkerboard kind of thing. So it makes it makes an interesting panel, all right? So what about this though? Can you see this? That's kind of the bleach out effect. And it almost has a glow, doesn't it? It's really cool because we've done the background and then we've applied the bleach onto it. And then you can see on the edges of it, the different color that is actually in there. Okay. So that's the Barala collection. And I tried it again with the cherry blossoms. And now the cherry blossoms, you've got a whole array of things. You've got your normal print here. And then I've got your stripe, and this is a double chop application, okay? And then I wanted to play with a smaller motif, a tighter motif. And you can see in this beautiful aqua one, and you can probably see it a little bit better in this one, the fine, fine lines in there. And the only way to achieve that is to make sure that we do it the bleach out kind of application, so I can get that detail in the lines. This one also has a border print, which is kind of a double chop application, right? Okay, so there's a lot more detail with that effect, but I'm limited, right? How am I limited? I'm limited to, okay, what color is my background and what do I anticipate happening when it bleaches out? I can't color my motif. My motif is only the residue of color that's left after we stop the bleach process, okay? So this has kind of a creamy effect, right? And then where we've applied the brown with the red, you can see it's a little bit deeper, creamy. It's more into tan in this one, right? Okay, so I'm limited to what I can color my motif because it's got to be, based on what's going to bleach out. All right. Now I tried something else with the Pier collection. And we did the bleach out with these little bursts. Okay, so we drew those little bursts. And then we went back over and printed with the dots of color in there. Okay, so we've got here just a dyed hand or a flat dye, dip dye kind of thing, and then the bleach out on that. All right. So there's a couple different applications that we would use the bleach out, and I think it's interesting because it gives me a lot more leeway as to what I want to do with it. Right behind me here, we've got the rayons, and you can see with the rayon, all right, it's a floral. So first we applied the color in the background, and then if you recall my favorite little blowing color onto the batik, and then you get these bursts on there. We did that, and then we went over it with the floral pattern and bleached it out, and then overprinted with the black, just for a different kind of look. Now, all of these kinds of batiks, we call them batiks here. They have different names, and generally different regions of Indonesia are specialized in those kinds of applications. So it's fun because it's finding what the factories are capable of doing and what their forte is. So that's how I find the different applications with the bleach or with the double chop application, maybe with the border application, different applications of color. What other applications do you think, or what other ways could I use the bleach, do you think? Should I use it in maybe a zigzag? I started with the plaids, and so I keep continuing with the plaids. I like when I want all over floral. And if you see my luster, make sure you check out batiks.com and look up the luster collection. And one of the applications is that bleach. I did it just so you could get the detail of almost a lace effect. But when I go ahead and do that, I have a bigger repeat. Okay, so I can do bigger motifs. Yes, I can do finer lines with a bigger repeat. I'm not limited to the 8.5 inch or 20 centimeter repeat and trying to get all of that detail in there. So it gives me a lot to play with. But like I said, there are restrictions as to like I can't do a second color in the motif unless it's just the bleach out. And then I'd have to come back if I wanted to print another color on. I'd have to hand screen the black detail on that. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk about today. You can see some of the plaids back here from Patience Griffin's collection, Kilts and Quilts, and those are the plaids I was referring to. But that's the bleach, using bleach in a different way. Now, normally we would use it right after we have applied the wax to hold the motif color, and then we go and bleach it before we put the background. This time, what I'm doing is putting the background down first, and then I'm bleaching, and I'm not necessarily using the wax. So knowing the processes and working with the artisans in Indonesia has really helped me create some very unique batiks for Banyan Batiks. Thanks for joining me today, and I look forward to the comments. Make sure you comment. We do send out fat quarter bundles. We do a drawing every single week and make sure we have a winner. Thanks for joining.